We talk about sugar constantly. We know it's in our soda, our desserts, our snacks. We vaguely understand it's not great for us, that it's empty calories or might make us gain weight. But this conversation misses the true hidden drama. Because sugar isn't just a passive substance that gets stored as fat. It's an active, urgent signal. And every time you consume it, that signal is received by one of the most hardworking yet least understood organs in your body, your pancreas. This isn't about willpower or morality. This is about physiology. When we follow that spoonful of sugar from your tongue to your cells, we uncover a story of relentless pressure of a small organ pushed to its breaking point and of a slow, steady toll that leads directly to the most common metabolic disasters of our time. This is the story we need to understand. This is Pancreas Under Pressure, Sugar's Hidden Toll. Let's start by meeting the pancreas in its quiet, diligent state, tucked behind your stomach. It's a dual-purpose organ, a true overachiever. It has two main jobs that are life or death important. First, its exocrine function, producing digestive enzymes that break down fats, proteins, and carbs in your small intestine. But it's the second, endocrine function. That's the star of our story. Scattered throughout the pancreas like tiny islands they literally called the islets of Langerhans are specialized cells that act as the body's master sugar regulators. Beta cells produce insulin. Alpha cells produce glucagon. Think of these two hormones as the yin and yang of your blood sugar balance. After a meal, when glucose from your food floods your bloodstream, it's insulin's job to act like a master key. It unlocks your cells, your muscle, fat, and liver cells and ushers the glucose inside to be used for energy or stored for later. Glucagon does the opposite. When blood sugar dips to low, it signals the liver to release stored glucose. It's a beautiful, precise, minute-to-minute balancing act. For most of human history, this system worked in relative peace, handling natural, fiber-wrapped sugars from fruits and vegetables that entered the bloodstream slowly. But then, our food environment changed. Enter the modern sugar avalanche. Not just table sugar, but the omnipresent high-fructose corn syrup and a sea of refined carbohydrates that act just like sugar in the body. A typical American now consumes an average of 17 teaspoons of added sugar per day, nearly triple the recommended limit. When you drink a soda or eat a candy bar, you're not giving your pancreas a gentle nudge. You're hitting the panic button. A massive, rapid flood of glucose hits your bloodstream. Your pancreas's beta cells sense this emergency and immediately go into overdrive, pumping out a correspondingly massive surge of insulin to cope with the deluge. This is the acute pressure, a constant cycle of extreme spikes that demand extreme hormonal responses. It's like forcing a fire department to respond to a 5-alarm fire, multiple times a day, every single day. Now, let's talk about the specific, double-barreled threat of fructose, which makes up half of table sugar and most of high-fructose corn syrup. Glucose is metabolized by every cell in the body and stimulates insulin release. Fructose, however, is processed almost entirely in the liver. In small, natural doses like in a piece of fruit, paired with fiber, this is fine. But in the massive doses from added sugars, the liver is overwhelmed. It converts this fructose into fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis. This fat either accumulates in the liver itself, leading to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or is shipped out into the bloodstream as triglycerides. Here's the pancreatic connection. This liver fat and these high blood triglycerides directly contribute to insulin resistance. The fat infiltrates the liver and muscles, gumming up the works and making these cells less responsive to insulin as open-up signal. So now, your pancreas isn't just dealing with a sugar flood. It's dealing with a sugar flood and cells that are starting to ignore its master key. The beta cells have to work even harder, producing even more insulin just to get the same job done. This is the beginning of chronic, unrelenting pressure. This state of hyperinsulinemia, chronically high insulin levels, is the silent, critical phase where the hidden toll is being exacted, often for years before any disease is diagnosed. You see, insulin isn't just a sugar key. It's a powerful growth hormone and a fat storage hormone. Chronically high insulin tells your body to store fat, particularly dangerous visceral fat around your organs. It promotes inflammation. It disrupts other hormones. And crucially, it puts your pancreas in a tragic bind. Those hardworking beta cells are not designed for this non-stop, maximum output labor. Over time, they become exhausted. They literally start to dysfunction and die. You can see this in studies as a loss of the normal, rhythmic release of insulin. The cells become like overworked factory workers, making sloppy products. They may even start producing a misfolded, less effective form of insulin called proinsulin. The organ itself becomes inflamed, a condition called insulitis. The pressure is now causing structural damage. The endpoint of this year's long pressure campaign is type 2 diabetes. This is not a sudden onset disease. It's a slow motion failure with a clear pathway. First, insulin resistance develops in the liver and muscles. The pancreas compensates by pumping out more insulin. For a while, this keeps blood sugar levels in a normal range. You'd have no idea anything was wrong. This can go on for a decade or more, but eventually, the overworked beta cells begin to fail. Insulin production can no longer keep up with the demand created by insulin resistance. Blood glucose levels begin to creep up, first into prediabetes, then into full-blown type 2 diabetes. At this point, the pancreas is both exhausted and failing. This is why type 2 diabetes is often called a disease of beta cell burnout. The organ has been under such constant pressure that its functional capacity has been irrevocably eroded. The hidden toll has become a diagnosable, life-altering condition. But the toll doesn't stop at diabetes. A stressed, inflamed pancreas is also at higher risk for acute pancreatitis, a sudden, severe, and excruciatingly painful inflammation of the organ. High triglycerides in the blood, driven by that fructose metabolism, are a leading cause of pancreatitis. Furthermore, the chronic inflammation and cellular stress may contribute to the development of pancreatic cancer, one of the deadliest cancers, though the direct links are complex and still being unraveled. The point is, the pressure creates a pathological environment where multiple catastrophic failures become more likely. So, what do we do? The empowering truth is that this pathway, while common, is not inevitable. The pancreas has a remarkable, though not infinite, capacity to recover if the pressure is lifted. The strategy isn't about perfection. It's about reducing the constant alarm signals. First, you must become a sugar archaeologist. Added sugars are hidden in everything from bread and pasta sauce to salad dressing and yogurt. Read labels. Names to look for: sucrose, high-fructose corn syrup, barley malt, dextrose, rice syrup. The goal is to slash the frequency and volume of those sugar avalanches. Second, prioritize fiber with every meal and snack. Fiber is the body's natural moderator. It slows the absorption of sugar, preventing the violent spikes that trigger the insulin panic response. A bowl of berries is fundamentally different from berry-flavored candy because of the fiber matrix. Third, manage your carbohydrates thoughtfully. You don't need to eliminate them, but choose complex, whole food sources: sweet potatoes, quinoa, beans, whole fruits, and pair them with healthy fats and proteins. This food matrix approach blunts the glycemic response dramatically. Beyond food, the most profound intervention is movement. Muscle is your largest glucose disposal site. When you use your muscles, they soak up glucose from your bloodstream without needing as much insulin. This is like giving your pancreas a paid vacation. Regular physical activity, especially resistance training, improves insulin sensitivity directly, taking the pressure off those beta cells. Finally, understand that sleep and stress are pancreatic issues too. Chronic sleep deprivation and high cortisol levels both increase insulin resistance, forcing the pancreas to work harder. Managing stress and prioritizing sleep are not just wellness tips. They are direct prescriptions for pancreatic relief. This is a story of an organ pushed to its limits by an environment it was never designed for. Your pancreas isn't failing you out of malice or weakness. It's responding, heroically and desperately, to the signals you're sending it with every bite and sip. By seeing sugar not as a harmless treat but as a potent hormonal signal, a demand for a frantic, all-hands-on-deck response from a vital organ, you gain the power to change the narrative. You can choose to send signals of steadiness, of moderation, of nourishment. You can choose to stop the avalanche and let the exhausted firefighter rest. The pressure can be lifted. The hidden toll can stop accruing today, with the very next choice you make. Your silent, hardworking pancreas is counting on you. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into how your body really works.